Managing moderators can support your channel in even more ways. No. So for anyone joining, I'm just take he's on a walk with me. I'm going in to collect the bab, so take he's on a walk. I suppose the latest video that people, sorry about the wind, to get one of those shield guards. The latest video that has piqued attention here in County Dublin is the City West Hotel. Now, there's been a good few of us talking about the City West Hotel for the last, God knows, 5 years. 2025, yeah, 5 years, maybe even since 2019, and we knew that it was getting converted. We knew all this fucking years ago, but with this recent incident with the 10-year-old girl, I see a couple of people are going back up again tonight. They were up there last night and the night before, but it's gathering more pace now, and more people are starting to, tune in on it. The way I look at it, like, I would go up and cover it and stuff like that. The way I'm looking at it is, I hear of an incident like that and I take a step back and look for the possibilities of the outcome of it. And I think it's been so well sort of managed, or, major talking points about it are being hidden on the mainstream and stuff like that. They're refusing to talk about, just using the, a male done this or a male done this. So they're still hiding. I have to point this camera down, there's children walking by. I have a feeling that they're going to use it to sort of install what Keir Starmer was talking about. What Starmer was talking about with the digital ID. This is their next step, is to manage these attacks as they happen. I don't even know how many are unreported. I'd hate to think how many of these are unreported, or they're incidents is the wrong word. Attacks. They're attacks that are, happens to a particular family, and they get a visit from the guards or something like that, saying, when you put posts up like that on social media, all you're doing is causing more racial division in a way, Now, let's use that form of thinking. Let's look at the world like that for a minute. It's not how it operates. It's not how Western society operates. Because if you remember back, and I mentioned this in one of the videos there recently, today actually, about George Floyd. Now, he was just one individual from the black community, right? And man was a criminal, took drugs, all that stuff, swallowed a bag of fentanyl or whatever, all that stuff, right? But yeah, he was used to push one of the biggest movements we have seen in the Western world. Black Lives Matter. Remember, all of that shit is starting because of people like George Floyd. It's always the criminals that they sort of use for some reason, but they're using the criminals to, push certain agendas. And BLM is nothing but born loot and murder in my eyes. So if society is willing to use one individual like George Floyd to push a movement, well then this incident about this girl being raped basically in City West Hotel or near it, and they don't even, I think the government and the media purposely say that this girl, now she could still be, like, don't get me wrong, but I think they purposely mention Tusla and invoke that name because they know that in their heads people aren't going to do fuck all. Look, it's like looking at all of us and saying, you aren't going to do fucking nothing, and we're just going to rub it in your face even more, you know. But because of the scale of it, it always makes me think of like the Serenity Prayer whenever I think of the scale of this, you know. Give me the strength to know the difference between what I can and can't change. You know, that shit's saved my life. Otherwise, I can see why people just get so frustrated and angry. You know, why the fuck isn't anyone doing anything? Why isn't there like a countrywide shutdown? Like, years ago, this would have been everywhere across the country, you know, and everyone would be informed. Well, of course, government and media now have branched out and they're kind of in cahoots with social media influencers like that Doza and thing, and they all play it down like it's, you know, they actually, some of them play it down, but some of them go that step further and say, I hope Gardaí are going to be outside the CUS hotel protecting those poor immigrants. Do you know? That's these social media paid influencers that Varadkar and Martin talked about going back 7-8 years ago when they said they were going to hire 75,000 social media influencers. That's these people who just constantly play things down. Some go that step further. I suppose it's probably something tied into the higher up they get, the higher pay grade, the more they just rub it in your face even more. Like that Doza fella. He's had a few run-ins with Irish citizen journalists, you know, like the man stood outside of the court in town, you know, siding with these pro-pan Arab feckers, you know. But yes, it's all done to fucking annoy us even more. Like I'm 100% convinced of that now. What are people saying in here actually? Oh, what's up, Sue? Sorry about if it's a bit windy. It's an impromptu live because I'm just going in to collect the babs. How are you, Luke? What's the story? Kieran, Paul, yup, Tommy, TJWK. So, what's he saying? Charlie Cork is there White Lives Matter moment. I was gonna do a big video on him because I don't know if many people in here know, like a few of you know that I did tune in and watch some of the debates that he would have on campuses and things like that. But then his last, say, 3-4 videos before he was, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, if he was murdered or faked it or whatever you think about it, you know, it was still the symbolism of it, you know, this guy who goes and just wants open debate and then ends up getting bleeding murdered for it. Oh wait, hang on, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. So what was I saying? Oh damn it. Somebody remind me what I was saying there, because there was a point I was trying to make. Nice to hear your voice. Haven't heard you in a long time. Okay. Yeah, not bad, Luke. Not too bad. Just probably focusing on work and stuff like that. So when I get it, I get days where I have spare time and I just whack out like 5 or 6 videos, you know, of just things that I'm observing. Oh wait, was there something Frankie said that was making me think like that? Oh no, Frankie, I know it is. Just apology. Fecking anyway, calling me in the middle of a terrible for that. Even when I'm just making videos at home, I do it to myself sometimes. But if someone calls me and breaks the train of thought, nice as scumbags. Something about silencing someone, wasn't it? Anyway, there was other videos that I uploaded, probably jumping to something else, but the guy called Edge of the Matrix. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. I think the videos he's doing are quite powerful. Well, I mean, it's not even, he doesn't even do it. Like, yeah, he has a billboard strapped to him with saying children can't give license to, changing their sexuality and stuff like this, and simply goes out with the billboard. And he has these absolute crazy people just come up and say, "You're the reason my friend killed himself," and all this, And it's like, hang on, a bloke that's just standing in the street is the reason your friend done away with himself. This is the way their mind is working, and it's a. I'll walk down this one. It's a fascinating outlook to have. I suppose a lot of them just want someone to blame for things. I've been hurt by something, so I'm gonna just fucking lash out. And he's been assaulted a good few times and things like this as well. He doesn't go into, like I said in the video, he doesn't go into people's faces. Like, he's just standing there. And if you want to have a chat, it was Charlie Coolock. It was fucking Charlie Coolock I was talking about. Yeah, because I mentioned him in the video. He's just like that in the sense of, I'm going to stand here with my board. If you want to come up and ask me a question and talk to me, walk away. Things like this. That's all he does. He's not going up to people going, "What do you think of this? What do you think of this?" He doesn't do any of that. But yeah, Charlie Coolock, right? The symbolism of that is, when that happened, I was like, that's to send out the message that if you want students having open dialogue like this, well, if it's something that goes against us, well then we're just going to have you disappeared, or we're going to have something really bad happen to you if you dare speak about, or if you dare even just want open debate. Now, I can see why some people out there believe that it was all a setup, because Charlie Coolock was a Zionist. Said it multiple times that he was a Zionist, and that he was all for Israel, all that, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is his last 3-4 videos, the people not seeing these videos, of him sitting there in his interviewer room, that Turning Point USA, right? They had like a little studio and stuff. And for the last 3 or 4 videos beforehand, he was saying that he was approached by the Israeli lobby and they were offering him more money, and he told him to fuck off. He said, "No, look, I don't want anything to do with this. It's like you're paying me to say something or side with something that he didn't believe in," right? And how Benji invited him over to Israel to have a tour again. Like, he had been over there a few years ago, but they wanted him. That's what they do. You've all seen the images. They bring them, even like celebrities, anyone with influence, they bring them over to Israel, get a few photos of them at the wall. So there you go. He sides with Israel no matter what. Israel first, by the way. But he rejected that. He rejected going over the second time. He wanted to cut ties basically with the Israeli influence over America. But that's what I can tell from his last 3 or 4 videos. And anyway, it's gonna be people out there that will just say, you know what, they faked all that stuff. He's not really dead, What would that leave then? Like, what was the purpose of offing him or unaliving him? And it probably ties back in a bit with the first thing I stated, where the powers that be don't want these people of influence out there asking students, the youth of the earth, what they think of the world and society and how it's run. They don't want that, you know. They did this to Socrates as well, people. They did this to they killed Socrates because that's what he was doing. He was telling the youth of the time to question the establishment, question government, question everything about them, why they're doing it, what they're doing, everything. And they killed him for that as well. So I don't like Bill Bob Chris. He's very pro-Israel. Is he? Like I say, Frankie, if that side can pick and choose what they want to highlight in the world, then we can do it as well. And when I'm talking about Bill Bob Chris, I'm literally just talking about how he wants people to ask themselves the question: is this right to be doing this to children? Do you know? So I didn't know he was pro-Israel. You're thinking maybe that because we all know people out there who are out there on social media platforms who are using like the Israeli flag to rub salt in the wounds of all the pro-pan Arabs that we see everywhere. Do you know? Is he doing it for that? What's up, KO? Fuck Charlie Kirk, not your problem. See, you're not going to please everyone no matter what you say, you're not going to please everyone out there, you know. I can only say my opinion about the way I see the world and what's happening. And like I said, it could be the fact that they just said, right, well, he needs to be JFK'd because he's turning his back on Israel, or he's still in the books of Israel and they faked it all. And the whole point of it happening was, don't fucking question Israel, you know. Still sending that message out of, this is what happens to anyone that questions Israel. Like, what was it? Bill, what's his name? Bill Hicks. He said when they elect someone to the highest seat in the US, they bring him into a little room, they roll down the blinds, and they play the video of the JFK assassination and say, do you understand? I wouldn't be fucking surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. The name of the game is look over here, not over there. Yeah, but there's so many things going on that they can distract with, isn't it? You know, I think as well the distractions are coming so fast and thick right now in 2025 is because of what they did in 2020 to the whole of the planet. You know, the lockdowns, the fucking no jab, no job, you know. I think all of it is to distract from that. But also, like, it still ties into some sort of elite power system that is behind all of it. You know, it's like, right, well, not enough went along for our first thing in 2025, so we're just gonna get more and more ridiculous, like housing unvetted males in areas where schools are, you know, letting children in care homes stay with 30-year-old unvetted males from God knows where. They're coming in from everywhere now at this stage. And I was only talking to a local chap, you all know, local chap in Coolock, and don't like dropping names, but I was only talking to him earlier, and there's another event held in protest tonight up at City West. I will try to get up, but I'm not making promises. I will try to get up. You know, but that's where they have us. You know, we see that happening, that things like that happening in the likes of the City West Hotel, and we feel obligated to go and share and talk about it. But at the same time, you have to remember, these fuckers used crises like this to further their agenda as well. And I think that's what they're going to do. You see more incidents happen like this they'll bring in the likes of Tusla, the name. Like, what's that word I used? They conjure the name of Tusla, right? Even if the child was or wasn't, he's conjured the name of Tusla to say, yeah, that's happening. What the fuck are you going to do about it? Do you know? Like, try drive you more and more insane. That now you're actually going mad. Actually, we don't need people out here protecting children or anything like that. What we need is digital ID. That's what we need. That'll keep your children safe. Wouldn't you like to know where they are at any time, anywhere, any place? You know? Just short of saying, here, you stick a microchip in your dog, stick one in your child. See all these things they can get out of it. There's crews heading up City West tonight from all over Dublin. You've got to be prepared. Yeah, well, I think I've gained the knowledge enough to... I think what happened outside Crown sort of... I let my emotions get the better of me, you know. I seen what they were doing to the people in my area, and I let the emotions get the better. Got a bit saying a few hurty curse words and at the guards or whatever, but yeah, I think I've learned to just, you know, stay in the background type of thing. Yeah, and one of the biggest tips I would give to anybody that ever interacts with An Garda Síochána is do not open your mouth. They come up talking to you, don't just stay fucking silent, don't say anything, you know, because they're looking. One, what they want. Second, you respond, you're in a contract. Don't give them the opportunity to enter a contract with you, you know. It's your right to remain silent. And I found the 2 times that I did that, the guards just walk away, you know. There was that fucking Asia who initially arrested me that night. When I seen him again and he comes up trying to talk to me, I just dead silent. He walked away, you know. So that's what we have to do. No fucking contract with use. Yous are overseeing the mass migration of unvetted males into this country. You'd love to say them words to them, but as soon as you do, you're in a contract. So just don't say anything. You know, zip it. What is that saying there? Oh yeah, when I was saying I was talking to one of the local lads. What time is it here? Oh shit, I have to cut this a bit short because I know it went off on a little ramble. Yeah, look out for the page. If I don't go up, sure, I'll do a little hour or 2 live later for a quick catch up on everything that's been going on and try to talk about like Catherine Connolly, the lawyer, you know, out there spreading lies about. People have different views of the books, but out there spreading lies about the books, blah de blah. I'll talk about all that stuff. So I love yous and leave yous for now. Sorry it's a bit short, but time flies, man. Time just fucking flies by. Do an open panel. Alright, we'll see, Frankie. But yeah, I'm gonna go and collect the daughter, right? They are both heads of the same snake, yeah, 100%. I said this before. CC Catherine Connolly 33, and there's something about 88, isn't there? Wasn't that, Frankie, was something to do with 88 with Hitler and stuff like that, you know? But Heather Humphreys, 8th letter of the alphabet twice, 88, you know? There's definitely some sort of dark magic going on there when they're using all them things. But yeah, I'll talk about them later. So, well, I love yous and leave yous.